specifically terrorists, he says, were killed in action. This is the second strike, as you mentioned, in just under a week. Last Tuesday, the U.S. military taking another strike that killed, in that case, 11 individuals. But that strike has raised a lot of legal questions about the U.S.'s ability, their legal authority to strike at a boat like this. Since then, we have heard from a number of different Trump administration officials about that very issue. To the U.S. claimed we're part of a cartel known as Tren de Aragua. Of course, the U.S. placed TDA under a foreign terrorist organization designation earlier this year.
5 men in a weather-beaten skiff throttle toward what they think is an easy prize, a freighter alone in the Gulf of Aden. No flags, no identifiers, just confidence and an aluminum ladder.
Moments ago, President Trump posted on social media that the U.S. military carried out a second strike targeting drug cartels that he says were transporting illegal narcotics to the U.S. The president also posting this video. What more do we know about this strike?
So far, all we really know is what President Trump posted on Truth Social. He said that this was the second strike, as you mentioned, Jamish. 3 males, he says, who had left Venezuela, who he claims were narco traffickers.
It follows a similar strike carried out earlier this month in the southern Caribbean, and it comes as the Trump administration looks to ramp up pressure on the Maduro regime in Venezuela.
What they can't see is that the freighter is a 9,000-ton U.S. Navy destroyer, silent and watching. This isn't a battle of firepower, it's a test of nerve, sensors, and doctrine. What happens when undisciplined attackers meet a ship built to win without shooting? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
Defending it, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth saying that he has the ultimate authority, complete and total authority, to carry out these sorts of strikes. But exactly what kind of aircraft carried it out? And even Capitol Hill has not gotten answers to all of their questions, including the legal authority. I suspect that, as you're seeing on the screen here today, right now, that being said, Jamish, we have gotten very little fidelity or detail about exactly what happened in this strike, including exactly how long the U.S. was watching the individuals in the strike last week.
A skiff speeds toward what looks like an easy payday, but every rotation of its prop brings it closer to the bow guns of a destroyer disguised by distance. The horizon blurs the truth. From miles out, gray steel looks like a slow merchant hull. To 5 men chasing profit, it's a target that won't shoot back. They move fast, low on the water, their small engine kicking foam into the dawn. Each man grips gear worn smooth by salt, a ladder, ropes, jerry cans, an old radio crackling across open airwaves. On this sea lane, strength is whatever shows itself first.
This second strike is going to raise similar questions about whether the Trump administration has the ability, as they say, to be striking these boats. Remember, right after the first one last week, and present a direct threat to the American public.
Well, a lot of questions, especially when you talk about the legal authority here, Monica. What should we make of the president's decision to increasingly go after drug cartels?
Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that it was probably headed to the Caribbean, maybe headed to the U.S. They've changed that talking point as well, now saying more specifically that they believe these drugs are headed to the United States.
Confidence fills the gap where discipline should be. But on that destroyer, nothing moves without being measured. The bridge tracks the skiff's blip across radar overlays. Operators in the Combat Information Center shift through lenses, identifying heat signatures and movements. The crew speaks in clipped tones. Rules of engagement slide quietly into Phase 1. No raised voices. Just controlled precision. Radar, infrared sensors, and linked consoles stretch a net of unseen awareness miles wide. Before the skiff is even close, every wave it cuts has been recorded, every turn analyzed. On the flight deck, a Seahawk helicopter lifts off, blades slicing clean air. It isn't deployed to strike, it's an eye. Its stabilized camera gimbals track heat and metal, sending live feeds back to the destroyer's monitors. The pirates tighten formation, mistaking discipline for confusion. Erratic turns give them away. They think they're outmaneuvering a merchant crew, instead, they're under total watch. A doctrine of quiet dominance unfolds, a warship that doesn't need to announce itself to control the fight. By the time the Skiff closes within 3 nautical miles, the record is complete. Hostile intent proven. The question remains, what made these 5 men believe they could face a warship at all? As their hesitation starts, presence becomes deterrence, and the Navy prepares to answer without firing a single round. No gunfire. No chase. Just sound, light, and time working against the attackers. The destroyer transitions to Phase 2, shifting from surveillance to deterrence. On the bridge, an operator powers up the long-range acoustic device. A deep mechanical hum rolls across the deck before the system emits a deafening warning tone directed straight at the lead skiff. The noise isn't random, it's engineered to overload the ear, disrupt balance, and push human tolerance to its limit without crossing into harm. The sound slams into the pirates across open water. Their hands flinch from their gear. The skiff rocks violently, bow dancing on the chop. In the same breath, the MH-60R Seahawk sweeps its laser across the surface. A bright green pulse strikes the deck of the nearest boat, a deliberate, silent message that they're under precise watch. The pirates freeze under its glare, caught between confusion and recognition. Someone has drawn a line they know not to cross. These tools are chosen for a reason. LRAD and laser signaling are legally clean, reversible actions, responses that exert control without escalation, giving the Navy both authority and documentation. Every second of the encounter is captured: radar feeds, thermal imagery, annotated voice logs, exact timestamps. The Seahawk's optics lock on every shift of course, every raised hand, building a digital record that justifies every move under maritime law. Meanwhile, the pirates begin to unravel. Missed radio calls. Conflicting turns. Their plan collapses under the pressure of invisible authority. At 7:01 a.m., the tone stops. The lead skiff drifts, engine sputtering. Flankers turn away. The destroyer holds position, calm and methodical, records, evaluates, resets readiness. No shots fired. No pursuit. Just the slow realization that presence itself is a weapon, precision its ammunition. Modern sea power measured not in destruction, but in the crises that never ignite. The pirates thought they found a victim. In truth, they came face to face with a doctrine built on restraint, precision, and superiority through awareness. Their mistake wasn't only tactical, it was psychological. They misread calm for weakness, patience for vulnerability. But the destroyer's stillness was power. Presence was the weapon. Posture was the message. In the Gulf of Aden, victory often comes from the crisis that never begins. Comment your view: should the Navy strike harder, or is discipline the sharpest edge of sea power? Subscribe and join a community that studies the real art of modern conflict.